ChatGPT said, "What?" There's a trend going on right now, and I just had to try it. It's the ChatGPT Blind Spot Challenge. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know if that's what everyone else is calling it, but I'm going to call it the ChatGPT Blind Spot Challenge. I received a prompt and I was dared to enter it into ChatGPT to see what it said about me. I'm asking ChatGPT, what are my blind spots? Everything you know about me, what am I overlooking? What could I be doing better? How can you help me be better in my business? And let me tell y'all what it had the nerve to say. So here's the prompt I entered in ChatGPT, and I'm using version 4.0. Based on everything I've ever asked you, what do you think my biggest blind spots are? All right, so if you're going to do the ChatGPT Blind Spot Challenge, that's the prompt you want to enter. But I'm going to do something very vulnerable, and I'm going to share my results with you. And let's see, did it lie? All right, so the first thing it called out about me was delegation versus doing it all. This is something that had right away hit with me because I know that this has been a struggle point for me, but let me dive into it. It says you're highly capable and have a vision for everything from systems to branding. That's a gift, but it can also mean you end up doing way too much yourself. Whether it's content creation, tech setup, or client strategy, you're often the architect and the builder. All right, so yeah, I'm going to grade each one of these points from A to D and say that this was an A. I have been, for the past year, figuring out different ways to, number one, change the way I work with clients, onboard clients, to change the services that I offer even, and hire staff to be able to do some of the things that I don't have to do everything. So I absolutely will give it an A in this area because I know that that's one of the main reasons why I have not been able to grow to the point I want to grow. So I'm going to give it an A. I'm in my feelings, but I'm going to give it an A. Let's go ahead and let's see what the next point is. So the next thing that it pulled up was audience readiness versus message depth. You're really good at creating frameworks like discover, build, and sell with greatness and thought-provoking content. That comes from the first 100K program where I'm teaching people how to earn their first 100K in their coaching or consulting business. But occasionally, there might be a mismatch between how ready your audience is to receive your deeper level insights versus where they actually are in their journey. Respectfully, ChatGPT, I'm going to give you an A. I know what I'm talking about and what I want to talk about to a level that only I understand. And with this being a new program, I do have to take in consideration that I might be speaking to people who aren't quite familiar with all the things that I'm talking about on the level that I'm talking about it. So I know with this being a new program, this is going to be something where I'm going to find that language and I'm going to be able to speak about this in a way that resonates with the people that I'm speaking to, but I'm going to have to give it an A. Yeah, it's true. I do am practicing, I should say, to find different ways to bring people in to see how can I get people to bite on the first 100K program, see what are going to be those things that resonate with the audience that I'm attracting. So I will give it an A. Let's go to the next one. All right, so we have monetization through systems versus creativity. You're deeply strategic and systems driven, but you're also incredibly creative. At times, your strategic side may dominate, potentially leaving less room for spontaneous creativity that doesn't have an immediate ROI, but could lead to something truly fresh and groundbreaking. So I hope you were getting a kick out of this, and let me know if you try this challenge. I really want to know. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can keep up with me as I release these new updates on videos related to ChatGPT and other things that I do. But let's go ahead and let me give you my thoughts on this one. So on this one, I feel inclined to give it a B. And I'm not sure if it's just me tripping because I'm not quite grasping what it's trying to say. I would love to know what you got from that. But I'm going to give it a B. The reason I'm going to give it a B is because, yes, I am a systems thinker. I do make time for creativity, but part of the first one, when I'm trying to delegate and do less, I'm stepping away from more of the creative roles. I'm trying to let my team do that and remove myself from some of that stuff on a granular level. I will say, though, that I have been creating things in like transitional times where I don't feel like doing the systems work that I can't wait to roll out that are going to play into the overall system that I'm developing. But I can agree with the fact that these things could lead to something that's fresh and groundbreaking. So I'm going to give this one a B. I'm not quite sure why they titled it Monetization Through Systems versus Creativity. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Let's go to the next one. And this is going to be our last one, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. You teach greatness, but do you market your own? You've created a coaching model about discovering greatness, and you genuinely help others uncover theirs. But there's a subtle sense that your own story, transformation, and success could be marketed louder, more boldly, more unapologetically. You're building an empire, but are you positioning yourself like the empire builder you already are? Yeah. Man, that one was deep right there. So I would say out of all of them, definitely an A plus plus plus. Out of all of them, that one hit me the most. Because I know that I don't. I know that I don't. I spend a lot of time investing in my client success, making sure I'm sharing the stories of the work that we're doing with other people. But I really don't share enough about my own backstory and how I got to where I am. So I'm definitely going to give it an A for this one. And this was the one that really made me say, wow. Like, anybody who knows me, who works with me, especially Carmen from Be Well Travel and Lifestyle magazine, she knows me well enough. We worked together so much where all of these things are true. All of these things are true. So now that I've told you what it called out, one of the things I didn't show you is what it actually suggested I do in order to start improving upon or getting more visibility inside of these blind spots. So I'm going to go one by one and share those with you because I think it's important for you to know what that was. And I found these points to be very useful. Also, something that I could take action on. So just starting with the one that I just did, what it said about that one, it asked, are you showing up as Michael DeMond, the brand, or just Michael, the coach consultant? And oftentimes I'm usually just introducing myself as Michael DeMond, the coach consultant, and really not thinking about myself on that greater level. The other thing it suggested is that I might want to shift and let people fully see the magnitude of what I've done. I do not show my work, except for the clients. Like, I'm not displaying my work as much as I could. Sharing the success stories. I have talked to more clients about getting testimonials and being guests on my upcoming podcast for Bond to Build, so I can have those stories shared. So those were on point. When it came to the one about monetization through systems versus creativity, one of the things that it said is, are there creative ideas that you've shelved because they don't immediately fit into your system? Could some creative risk lead to unexpected momentum and resonance? This one I really like because I did say 2 years ago that I don't need to create anything new. Everything that I need has been created, and I really just need to focus on organizing, getting my messages down, and communicating and reaching more people. So that's that one where I gave it a B. I really like these suggestions and these points that it told me to explore. Let's go to the one about audience readiness versus message depth. Here it says, are you meeting people at their level of awareness or a few steps ahead? And I will say I'm a few steps ahead. I'm a little on the fence because I feel like I need to be a few steps ahead, but I do understand what the point is trying to make. Could you test more entry point language before introducing the full framework? That makes a lot of sense because when I think about the funnel going from awareness to interest to desire to action, I do need to improve upon my entry point language, the awareness language. So I'm definitely going to take the advice from that one and put that into full execution. Last but not least, where we talked about delegation versus doing it all, are you giving yourself the space to truly lead and be a visionary? I just started a newsletter to help me with that. What systems or people could take over execution without compromising quality? So this is one of those areas that I also identified that I'm working to improve and get better at. So that's my ChatGPT blind spot challenge. I definitely want you to do the blind spot challenge. Tell me if you're willing to share what you learned from it. Let me know. I'm definitely putting this stuff into action, going to use it, and I will keep you updated. So thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe and that like button, please. And just share this with somebody so that they can get the prompt and they can do the challenge along with you. All right. Take care, y'all. Before I go, if you are interested in working with me to help you make your first 100K with a thriving group coaching system that I've built for myself and I'm building for my clients, go to michaeldemond.com, read all the details about it, and let's work together.